started, Wayne didn't realize that the hand vacuum would be heard directly through the door and drown out everything. So I'm giving this a few minutes, going to the doctor's in a bit for my 4th outpatient procedure for my back. And that's it for like 6 months. But it puts me out for the day, which is a shame because I'm sure like others, and I've hid the name because this wasn't sent to me. Nick may be delusional, but he's not stupid enough to send a letter like this to me. But it was sent to someone else who promptly gives them to me. So I'm protecting their identity. This libelous letter. This will be my show probably tomorrow. I won't have the bandwidth to do it tonight. I'll be too. Actually, it might be fun still, like half hopped up on anesthesiology. But let's talk about Massachusetts again. Our update number 7. But before we get started, let me see if I can grift properly here. Since Nick's in the grifting business now, and this is surely a grift. This here, somebody doing work and providing entertainment and content that you guys like is not a grift, but this is a grift. We'll get into it. But let's see. Let me do my grift here. Captions first. Here we go. If you can, please support me on Patreon because really, no one else is crazy enough to cover the Libertarian Party as closely as I do. Pay me for my insanity. No, seriously, if you enjoy this type of content, we'll be getting started soon on the problem of political authority. I've started to do some of my flipping through and just getting a handle on the book. Let me hide that one. But more importantly, right now, please give to my LNC Secretary campaign. There's a GoFundMe there. Maybe screenshot that or something. But if you just go to GoFundMe and search my name or Pink Flame of Liberty, the links are also in the low bar. Trying to raise money to get to a few more conventions and maybe to send out my own letter. Not like this, not lying about people, a letter about my campaign. This cost a pretty penny. To send this out, it was probably to the last 2 years delegate list, was about a $2,500 at least for Nick to do this. So I would love to send out a campaign letter. Thank you so much for the super chat, CJ. And you're officially a delegate. Yay, yay, yay. Wow, but this letter I'm going to be doing a whole show on. It's a good thing that most of us do not believe in libel laws because this is, Nick as an attorney should know better. He really, really should know better. But I do what I do when I'm lied about. Of course, my name's not specifically mentioned, but, people, friends of mine, no names, I think, are specifically mentioned. I'd have to read it through again. It's just a caucus made up of friends of mine. So I do the free market thing by using my platforms to refute lies. I don't believe in involving the status courts or anything, but not everyone feels that way. And though, I absolutely do not believe in defamation laws. One day, these people are going to push someone who does too far, and they're going to find themselves on the wrong side of a lawsuit. Not sure if they'd win. Politics are an exception. Public figures certainly are an exception. But there's a lot of private people involved in the Mises Caucus. Like, this has just gone way too far, but political stuff, it's very difficult to prove. But let's get back to Massachusetts. This thing has just cracked me up so bad. Okay, Massachusetts, where Tara DeSisto continues to lie her ever-loving rear off. Like, does she even believe these lies? This is what I want to know. And she's still lying on the LNC dime because until tomorrow, she's still employed. She put in her notice through tomorrow, but she still can be getting, listen, JBH just destroyed a bunch of emails on his way out. Who knows what Tara is doing? When you think you're fighting literal Nazis, I'm not accusing her of anything. I'm just saying that we're talking about a person who has access to all of our donor lists, all of your information. And the minute she started nutting up and then said she was going to resign, they should have asked her for her keys right then and there, paid her till the end of this month, and sent her walking. There were plenty of warning signs to say if it came out later that something got sabotaged, I would not be surprised. No, I am not accusing her. I am just saying I would not be surprised because these people have acted deranged. Thank you, John, so much. Yes, celebratory Diet Mountain Dew. You can always count on me for the Diet Dew. So let's look at the latest lie by Miss Tara DeSisto. But what's even worse than the lie is the outright hypocrisy. And this hypocrisy also comes up in this missive from Nick Sarwark, which we'll get into tomorrow. But let me share the screen that has the screenshot from something that Tara said. Here we go. So Tara says in Massachusetts, we have people who were removed, unjustly removed for merely signing a petition, who are starting a competing party. Let me give you a reality check, Tara. They are not starting a competing party. It is you who are in a competing party because they exercise their rights under the governing documents to recall the board. They are the legitimate board. It is you who are in a competing party. The projection here is absolutely unreal. They have partnered with YAL to throw a concurrent convention outside the Massachusetts state affiliate. No, they are the Massachusetts state affiliate, and they have not partnered with YAL. But the fact is, the Libertarian National Committee has partnered with YAL in the past. Are we about liberty, or are we only about the Libertarian Party? Now, I'm not a fan of YAL. YAL is turning woke. I personally don't do a thing with YAL, but they have campaigned and supported liberty candidates. I'm not into the Liberty Republican thing. When I was asked on Twitter, do we run someone against Tom Massey? I said, absolutely yes. We run somebody against everybody. But I can understand the arguments not to run candidates against either Liberty Republicans or Liberty Democrats, which do exist. I just think we're our own political party and we always run candidates. But I understand people who disagree. The absolute hypocrisy of her saying this when the Libertarian Party itself has partnered with YAL in the past is ridiculous, though the actual Massachusetts affiliate who she's libeling here isn't partnering with YAL. But even if they were, I wouldn't agree, but it isn't unprecedented. The Libertarian Party was a sponsor at Freedom Fest, which is mostly a Liberty Republican event. You are such a freaking hypocrite, Tara. And meanwhile, who are you guys sending letters and press releases from? A recent defect's not the right word. It makes it sound like there's something wrong with the person. A recent convert, that's a better word, from the Democrats. Oh, it's okay when they're from the left. Is that it? To me, it's okay when someone converts to liberty from either side. I don't care if they used to be Democrat. I don't care if they used to be Republican. But the double standard here is absolutely gross. You're sending this letter about bussing people in from somebody who still smells like the Democratic Party. See, I don't believe you take people who just yesterday, proverbially, were Democrat candidates and run them as libertarians. I also don't believe you do the same thing with Republicans. I'm on C-SPAN saying the same thing about Bill Weld, who you supported too, Tara DeSisto. I am on C-SPAN, look me up, who said, how about we nominate somebody who has read our platform more than 2 weeks ago? And that was a Republican. I am so ruthlessly consistent with this, it isn't funny. I welcome Democrats. I welcome Republicans, but you don't make them our candidates within weeks. I was proven right, and I was hoping I wouldn't be proven right. When Tara DeSisto was hired by the Libertarian Party, she was still a card-carrying Democrat, maybe an independent, but she was supporting Democratic candidates. And I said, how about we hire a Libertarian? Then you had Dan Fishman, who at the Tennessee convention said part of libertarians' problems is thinking that their key campaign staffers have to be libertarians. Yeah, Dan, they do. Now, I'm not so stupid that if, say, you needed a good treasurer and there wasn't a qualified libertarian, if there wasn't a qualified libertarian, then okay, consider somebody from outside the LP. But if there's a qualified libertarian, you'd pick the libertarian. Why we hired Tara DeSisto when she wasn't even a libertarian is beyond me. Nick Sarwark lied his ass off, and I will get into this with this fraudulent letter he sent, and ran off Lauren Dougherty and tried to get her job by asking for $75 an hour. Anyone else remember the fight for 75? And then when that didn't work out, they brought in Tara DeSisto, who was in Bill Weld's pocket. And she wasn't even a libertarian. She didn't join the Libertarian Party till later. And guess what? Up through at least 2020, let's look at the data, she was still giving contributions. And listen, what people do on their personal life is their own business. I don't care who you want to contribute money to. But if you're going to be the fundraising director for the Libertarian Party, I don't think it's too much to ask that you're not giving your money to socialists. Not even liberty Democrats. Like if I saw that she was giving completely to, Tulsi or something who has some great track records, okay. But let's look up here. Tara DeSisto was giving to Act Blue. Not a lot of money, but that was January 14th. Earmark committee to elect Ayanna Pressley. Ayanna Pressley. I have to weigh this. Here's another one, $184 to Act Blue. Earmarked for the committee to elect Ayanna Pressley. December 14th, 2021. And you want to know what? She put on here as her employer. Let me find that one again. I hate doing this on the phone. Self-employed. Now, that might technically have been true in December 2021. I know when she was first hired, she was hired as an independent contractor, which is technically self-employed, but we were the only people she was working with. But I think by December 2021, she was a full employee. Because that changed at some point, I'm not aware of when. So on this, I'm going to tell you, I am not particularly, I'm not particularly positive of this. But if she was employed by the LNC at that point, and she put down self-employed, she's trying to hide she's working for a Libertarian Party. And even if technically as an independent contractor, she was self-employed, her paychecks were coming from the Libertarian Party. So, meanwhile, she's giving money to the committee to re-elect Ayanna Pressley and is slandering these people in Massachusetts. This is the type of people we're dealing with. It's not an ideological problem. It's a character problem. And I say this with all due apologies to the people who are still employed by the LP who like her. I get it. It's hard to come against your coworkers, and I don't hold it against you. But I wish you were as ardent in your defense of Lauren Dougherty when Nick Sarwark lied about her. That's all I've got for today. I've got to get ready to go to the doctor, but I wanted to bring this up to show you. This is just ridiculous. No, Tara, you are in the competing party. You were thrown out of your office on your ass. Bye-bye, Felicia.